I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome to a special edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Hastings races, and of course, on the Saturday program, and of course, a big day in Belmont, New York. The 150th Belmont Stakes can justify, bred by our Langley's own John Gunther.
Our own regular here.
We own him now. The Derby Bar and Grill regular John Gunther. Can we maybe see another Triple Crown winner we're justified?
I think we can. I think he's got definitely the ability to do it. I think he regressed a little bit in the Preakness.
Yep.
Maybe bounced a little bit off that big effort in the Derby. He's training good going into it, and big chance to get the Triple Crown. John Gunther has two. He could get his own Triple Crown.
Yeah, I know he did.
If Vino Rosso, he bred him as well. So we'll touch on that a little bit later. There are 7 races on the Hastings card. We'll get right into that. The first, the $16,000 claimant event for older colts and geldings, wide open, going to mile 16th. Field of 5 in here, and I went to a newcomer here, the 5-horse City Steel, out of the Dave Milburn barn. You go back in this horse's form, he's always right there, all through last year. What was he, 10 of 13 in the money last year, running in like 32s, 25, those allowance races down there. Just won 2 back at the 3rd of March. He won for 10 down there, got a 78 buyer. Doesn't seem to break well his last 2 starts. Hopped at the start.
That's my concern with him.
Bobbled at the start. Yeah. But we have seen horses coming from the California circuit be very competitive up here. So I'm going to take a shot on the 5, City Steel, in a race where you can make a case for every horse in here. I got City Steel on top of Ida Goodest. He just won here for 12.5. His first start here at Hastings. Phil Hall having a very good meet. He got him down in Turf Paradise for 8,000. Seems to be a pretty heady claim, as he just won for 12.5. Going to be a handful in here for 16 as well. He looks like the speed of the speed. Maybe Royal Briar tries to go with him, not let him get too far away. I got Royal Briar in the 3rd spot. He was favored last time, just got beat a neck by Ida Goodest. Shooting Jackets in with a big shot. Heart Set, good race.
It is a good race.
He needed the race last time. I went 5, 1, and 2.
Yeah, I agree. The 5 horses are very competitive. Okay, now how's the race going to shape up? Yeah. It looks like the one Ida Goodest is going to get the lead. This horse has the most tactical speed of any horse in the race, I feel. And it's going to be his race to win or lose. So I got to take the Phil Hall runner. The barn's going great. I'm going to take Ida Goodest to defeat Royal Briar, who at least showed a little more pace last time and actually wasn't all that far out of it.
Involved.
And didn't give himself 10 lengths to make up on a slow pace. He actually was in good position. David Lopez will ride. Amadeo Perez not riding this weekend. Had a 2-day riding suspension. That's why you'll see some rider changes on the Amadeo Perez horses. But and I put the 4-horse Heart Set. I don't mind this horse. I love these races at the end of last year. Beat Citron Kid. We found gold. Those horses were going good at the end of last year, and this horse defeated them going along. This horse can't sprint. He showed it. It was a tough race behind Bluegrass Angus. This horse can even win the race. This horse is live, Heart Set. I would not sell this horse too short. But I know I've left out City Steel, who's racing fit and doing well for Dave Milburn, and Shooting Jacket to run a good 3rd, an okay 3rd last time. Has been claimed and goes back to the Hastings Racing Club, and they move this one to the Keith Peterson barn. So a good race. I went 1-2-4 in the Saturday opener. On to race number 2. This does kick off the Sea to Sky Pick 6, which does have a $4,888 carryover going into it. So if you're Sea to Sky, 20-cent Sea to Sky Pick 6 players, it does start in race 2. Got 2-year-olds here, 7 of them going 3.5 furlongs, a $75,000 claiming event. I went to the 4 Proud and Loud. I thought this horse was in the other day, and the only reason it scratched, it was not tattooed. It couldn't get a tattoo or whatever. There were some little things going on with Proud and Loud that why the horse didn't run. Paperwork issue, which is why the horse wasn't in. It wasn't a vet issue or soundness problems. No. This horse has worked well and has looked good in the morning for a good, excellent outfit. I put the 1-horse Vintage Man, who ran 2nd behind Summerland, who just scorched the field in a track record time in her debut. But Vintage Man, I thought, ran a very good race and will likely improve 2nd time out. And the 2-horse Notice, who's a filly by Stefan Otis out of a good mare, and Seedy, who's thrown a few, not many horses, but some with speed. And this horse looks to have a little bit of gas in the tank. So 35-4 out of the gate, 36, 49. Notice out of another barn that's going well. So I went 4, 1, and 2 in race number 2.
I don't have a lot to add. I did put Vintage Man on top because he has a start. You know, Glenn Todd's 2-year-olds are always dangerous. I mean, nobody was going to beat Summerland, but he did run 2nd that race. Proud and Loud's been training well for a top outfit, Craig McPherson, River's Edge, but he's a proud citizen, and he might even just, when we start going
He's a big
6,
horse. He may not be a 3.5 furlong. I might be off pace, but I just.
So, I mean, he's
like
obviously training well. It looks like he's got the talent. But I'm thinking maybe when you go 2 turns, that's going to be more to his style.
Nice horse.
So I put him in second, and notice the one you mentioned, the Stefano Sancita, the Marc Cloutier bar, another one that looks to be live in here. 1, 4, and 2 for me in the baby race. On to the third race, 16,000 for 3 and up, going 6.5 furlongs. Field of 5 in here. Another one where there's another race you can make a case for everybody. I thought Kermode ran really good off the bench in that last 16 behind Mighty Fraser. Mighty Fraser had been running. He'd been running down Turf Paradise. He was race fit. He'd had 2 races here already. Now with that race under him, I could see him moving forward, and got a big number last time. 78 Buyer just missed to Mighty Fraser. I think he's the one that can move forward in this race. That's why I got Kermode on top. The odds are good. I could see Kermode sitting just off the odds are good. Not a lot of other pace in here to go with the odds are good, and I could see him getting away from them. He ran third in that race, only beat 3/4 length, and he's just a solid horse. It's always tough for Mel Snow. Put him in for second, and Mighty Fraser in for third. I don't know if there's going to be enough pace to set him up. I worry about these other two kind of getting away from him a little bit. They're going to get the jump on him. But Mighty Fraser, is an honest horse. It's always right there, coming off a win for Glenn Todd and Aaron Grider. I got him in the third spot, 4-3-5.
Yeah, I went to the 3. The odds are good. I don't see a ton of speed. The one horse has speed, one at the track, Peter Milburn's horse. This horse, can be more of a pace presence. The rain broke on Antonio Reyes last time, and this horse is eligible to win at this level. But I like the odds are good. I thought this horse ran well last time. It wasn't really a speed favoring track. He's been actually on 2 tracks that have not favored inside speed horses, and Colterbury came back and crushed. That's the horse he lost to first time home. I know he lost to Mighty Fraser, but that horse had fitness on him. And then Mighty Fraser beat him by 3/4 of a length last time. But I just think things are going to be a little kinder for the odds are good, who will be making his third start off the layoff, and usually that's your best. The horse will come back and work great a couple times in a minute and change. And I'd like him to win it. Kind of always seem to pick the odds are good, but I like him to win it. Mighty Fraser for second. I put Twist Grips in for third. I always respect the John Snow runner. I know he's 9 years young, but he's coming out of some tough, dirty races. Hold the Giant, Dashing Dawn, and Colterbury. That was a dirty 25 he was in that day, and there wasn't a lot of pace presence. They ran the last part of that race very quickly, and this horse does his best running late. So if they're running quick at the end of the race, this really hurts Twist Grips. And I'm just a little worried that this may be the case again. But down for 16, maybe Twist Grips can overcome it anyway. And I left out Kermode and Born at the Track, but all live horses. I went 3-5-2 in race number 3.
Another all-button race there.
Nah, it's tough. It's the second half of the split. The first half went long in the first race. They're all $16,000 claimers, a couple of 5-horse fields. But race number 4, $25,000 fillies and mares going 6.5 furlongs. The one horse Omi, I know she's back up for 25 or 1 for 12.5, but she's got the back class. It's just a number to her. She's every bit as good as all these mares in here. She's facing a lot of 4-year-old fillies that are, freshly. Actually, they're all the balance of the field are the freshly turned 4-year-olds. So this is a lot easier assignment for Omi, I think. I know it was for 12.5, but this race comes up to me like a 12.5 race. This is not tough for Omi. So I like her to win it. Put the 5-horse Eco Charge, who's had 2 dreadful trips, moves to Aaron Grider, and this horse got a couple of good works, but 2 awful trips. The inside was not the place to be again last time, and he was down there in the bog, because the inside has not been very friendly to most on most days. You want to be in the 2 and 3 paths. That's a good handicapping angle. Just pay attention to those horses that were down on the inside and follow them back. Well, the track gets fairer. Anyway, the last few days, last 4 or 5 racing days, the inside, it's a little tougher on them. But Eco Charge for me, and for second, I put Classic Statement, who's been honest, for Keith Peterson and the Johnsons. This horse is just an honest filly that just continues to run good races. I went 1-5-6.
I agree with Omi, as you mentioned. She has a back class, and the fact that she went down for 12.5, got the win. She's one that could,
She's one for 35. It's not like this is not beyond her scope.
Well, especially with girls, I can see her getting some confidence here, and she could start to, really go the right way. So I got her, Omi on top. I put Northern Storm, recently claimed by Anita Bolton. Anita Bolton, 33% off the claim. This is a filly that has some back class as well. She ran against very tough horses here throughout her career. now in the hands of Anita Bolton. They can be tough. As I mentioned, very good off the claim. Enrique Gonzalez retains the mount. Northern Storm for me in second. And I put Classic Statement. Good second last time. I mean, Indie Rock just ran away from them all. But I thought, her and Peach Pike are pretty close. Eco Charge, as you mentioned, live in here as well. I went 1, 2, and 6 with a 3 I made a stand on. On to the 5th. Claiming 8,000. 3-year-olds and up, going a mile and a 16th. I went to the 3 here, Ace Deuce. Very good effort, first out for 4. Went into that tough 12-5 with Bluegrass Angus and Burnham, but now he gets to go long. This is what he wants to do. And Barb Heads, your wife.
Yes.
What a weekend she had last weekend.
4 for 4.
A perfect 4 for 4, all running great. The barn's going good right now. Dennis Orojo rides this one. Ace Deuce figures to be tough in here. I got him on top. Of the 4, El Super, Dave Milburn horse. He comes out of a tough 12-5 as well with Ida Goodis, Royal Briar, Shooting Jacket, all those horses that we saw in the first race. A lot of them went up to the 16. He's coming down to the 8. That should make him tough in here. And he's in light with 113 going long. That's not going to hurt his chances. And I put the 2. Newcomer here, Willing to Travel out of the Phil Hall barn. He claimed him for $62.50 at Turf Paradise. Another one that likes to go long, can string wins together. He's won 5 races. What is that? 15 to 31 lifetime in the money. I didn't want to leave him out. Enrique Gonzalez and Phil Hall teaming up very well right now. I went 3, 4, 2.
Yeah, I agree. Ace Deuce is going to be tough. I have him in the 3rd spot. I have El Super in the 2nd spot. I went to Citron Kid. I just thought this horse, he's the best horse. To me, I think he's the best horse in the race. But probably maybe a little short for him. He's one of those marathon type horses that runs well, but I just thought he was pace compromised in both of his 2 races.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 furlongs wasn't his trip, first time out in the slop. But last time, 24 and 3, 48 and 2. I mean, those horses are going to run around there all day, and they did. And he had an outside draw and didn't get any position at all. Was last, or one of the last markers, and they're sprinting all the way to the end of the race. The track was not fast that day, and he couldn't make up any ground. This is a lot easier for him, and I just thought he was the best horse. I put El Super. Have to respect him. Speed makes him dangerous. And Ace Deuce, tough trip last time, but a good run for 4 first time out, and he does want to go long. 1, 4, 3 for me in race number 5. On to the 6th race. What do we got? We got some $8,000 conditional claimers going 6.5 furlongs. I ended up on the 2 horse in here, I believe. Yes, I did. Catch Me. Gets the blinkers back off. Mark decided to try a little experiment. Put the blinkers on last time. That didn't work, or wasn't happy with the way it worked anyway, and so they're going to take the blinkers off. But I think the key change will be the 8,000 from the 16, and I think he's going to be pretty dangerous. Once again, Enrique Gonzalez riding for the suspended Amadeo Perez, but Amadeo will be back next weekend. I put the 5-horse Manning, a newcomer here to Hastings for Mike Anderson. This horse has been on the turf, but I thought he's looked good since seeing him on the track. I watched him work the last couple of times. He's looked quite nice, and maybe he fits in here. We'll see. And I put the 6, Perfectly Reckless, who ran a great race out wide last time, which is where you want to be, though. You want to be 3 wide, and that's that's where the horses have been winning the last few weeks. But Perfectly Reckless ran a good one. I went 2, 5, 6.
I agree with Catch Me. I think he's going to be tough in here. Fits the condition nicely. Actually, he's one of the few that's actually a non-3 in here.
Yeah, a lot of numbers at 2 and a lot of $8,000 horses. He's at least dropping.
He's dropping, and that figures to make him tough. Live connections, as Mike mentioned. Catch Me for me on top. I liked Footman's race. He hadn't run since last July. Ran a big one last time. Just going to be 3/4 length behind Presidential Bird at this condition. Presidential Bird came back to win. He was ahead of Perfectly Reckless. This horse is live in here. I got Footman in second, and I agree with Manning. This is a newcomer to Hastings, but as you mentioned, he looked good in the morning. I bet he's a good-looking boy. We brought 320,000 of the
He's a nice big chestnut, white face. But still, he has to prove himself on
He has to prove himself on dirt, but he's run on dirt in the past, run good. Actually, Aaron Grider broke his maiden at Fresno in the dirt for a maiden 8 back last October. But definitely, those horses coming from Turf Paradise have been running well. Mike Anderson barn going good. 2-1-5 for me in the 6th. On to the 7th. Fillies and Mares, Claimant 4,000 event. I went to the 7 PG Star. She was perfect 4 for 4 last year at the John Snow Barn. She kind of got to the races a little bit later than everybody. She didn't run to the 19th of May. Everybody else had starts in that race. She still only got beat 3 lengths against the tough Shayla's Rose. Only got beat a neck for second. I can see her moving forward. I've got her in the top spot. PG Star, I put Total Defense in the 2nd spot. 2 wins this year. She's going right through her conditions. Non-2, non-3 last time. And now into this non-winners of the year, non-4 event. She looks good for Glenn Todd and Aaron Greider. And I put Queen of Barneye, the third spot for Rob Maben. She just ran fourth in one of these races against Sheila's Rose, PG Star on that. But Rob Maben, what a year he's having.
Fire.
He's rolling. 7-5-4 for me.
Yeah, I agree with the top two. PG Star is the horse to beat. Good. I thought a very good run first time out. Sheila's Rose just ran well, and
yeah, and she's always tough.
Miss Meredith got touched at a second by Lady Cash, but I think PG Star will be a little bit better this time. But I agree with the 5 total defense. Had a pile of trouble last time. This horse was stacked up behind horses and actually got out really late to defeat Storm Cruiser. It was a dreadful trip for total defense. And I put the 2 horse. I put Lady Cash over there. I like 7-5-2. And that's what I think. You probably need 2 horses in here, 7 and the 5 in the Hastings finale. We'll do it for the Hastings races. We'd have another big race on tap at Belmont Park in New York.
We're gonna do it. Well, let's do our.
We'll do our recap. We'll do a recap first.
Yeah, we'll do the recap.
We'll do a quick recap, then we'll go on to the Belmont. Okay, back on race number 1, I did go to the one I had the goodest. Hopefully, he is the goodest. I went 1, 2, and 4. Race number 2, I went to the 4, Proud and Loud. First trip for Craig McPherson and River's Edge. I went 4, 1, and 2. Race number 3, I went to the 3. The odds are good. 3-5-2. Race number 4, I went to the 1. Omi got back on track with a win. Hopefully back-to-back for her, for the Swift Thoroughbreds and Dino. 1, 5, and 6. Race number 5, I went to the 1. Citron Kid over the 4 El Super and the 3 Ace Deuce. Race number 6, I went to the 2. Catch Me on the class drop. 2, 5, and 6. Race number 7, I went to the 7. PG Star. 7, 5, and 2.
On the my picks, there we go. Back in the first, I went to the 5, the newcomer, City Steel over the 1 and the 2. In the second, the baby race, I went down to the rail, number 1, Vintage Man over the 4 and the 2. In the third, I went to the 4, Kermode over the 3 and the 5. In the fourth, me and Mike agree on number 1, Omi over the 2 and the 6. In the fifth, I went to the 3, Ace Deuce for the Red Hot Barb Heads Barn over the 4 and the 2. In the sixth, I went to the 2, Catch Me over the 1 and the 5. And the nightcap, I agree with Mike, number 7, PG Star over the 5 and the 4.
All right, that is the Hastings program, but of course there is a pretty important race running at Belmont Park.
Always great when there's a live horse going into the Triple Crown.
Yes.
Creates a lot of buzz, and this year, of course, it's Justify, as we mentioned off the top, bred by local breeder John Gunther, who also bred Vino Rosso. I like Justify in this race. I think he'll get the distance. I thought it was a huge effort in the Derby. 2 weeks back, he might have bounced a little bit off of that. Even Backford thought he might have regressed a little bit, but he's training forwardly for this. I'd love to see him win it. I got Justify on top.
You got Vino. You got the Gunther.
Vino Rosso.
You got the Gunther Exactor.
I got the Gunther Exactor. Vino Rosso's back on his home turf. He ran very well in the Wood in New York. Skipped the Preakness. He's had 5 weeks between.
Right.
And he's a Curlin out of a street cry mare. He's going to get the distance. So I like Vino Rosso in second.
Put my Derby pick
and
in
horses,
for third.
Horses that are going to get the distance. Hofburg is by Tappet. Didn't run any good in the Derby. He's a lightly raced horse out of the Belmont barn. Hasn't run a whole lot. But now, being a son of Tappet, Tappets have won 3 of the last 4 Belmonts. He will get the distance. He's an interesting horse in here. And I'll touch briefly on, too, for the late Ray Hansen, a local breeder here as well. Ray Hansen owned Capilano. Langara last raced here. This was one of her foals. Ray Hansen passed away last November. So 3 horses in here with local breeding connections, Justify, Vino Rosso, and Blended Citizen. But I went 1, 8, and 4. And an honorable mention to Blended Citizen in the 150th running of the Belmont.
Yeah, I agree with the 1, Justify. I mean, he's the horse to beat. If he doesn't win, I think the 4, Hofburg is the one that ruins the party.
Yeah.
My Derby pick, he had a dreadful trip in the Derby. If you
Which
have a
can
chance,
happen,
watch it on YouTube. They have an aerial. Because it's really tough to see where Hofburg is because he's back in 15s and 17s.
And they're all covered in mud.
And you can't see anything. But if you watch this, poor Irad, he probably had the worst trip of this in the last year. Just nothing went right for Irad in that race. That Hofburg is way better than that race shows, and he was actually full of run down the lane. But anyway, I got him in for second, and I put the 3-horse Bravazzo for D. Wayne. The horse was actually closing well at the end of the race. But Justify, we're all pulling for him, and we want to see a Triple Crown. We always want to see a Triple Crown winner, and be great because being bred by a local resident and a Derby Barnger regular, John Gunther, it'd be a lot of fun.
It will be a lot.
We got Mario. We're gonna have to move Mario's stuff over and put John's over here.
Stuff. We're getting more cabinets in here.
Yeah, Mario might really move down because he didn't win the Triple Crown.
That's true.
If John wins the Triple Crown, he's going to get it. He might have to move some of Mario's stuff out of there.
We're going to bronze his seat over there. So the post time for this is about
3:46.
3:46.
I think it's 3:46.
Yeah, that's what it is. 3:46 local time. Of course, they'll have it on the big screen at Hastings. We still do have some room here at the Derby Barn Grill. You can give us a call, 604-536-29 7-8 if you want to try and get a seat here. But make sure wherever you are, you get in front of the TV
Watch.
around 3:45 to hopefully see history being made with Justified.
Once again, thanks everyone for tuning in. We really enjoyed putting together this special Belmont edition of Handicapper's Corner. It should be a great day of racing. 7 live at Hastings, as well as the Belmont that goes to 346. On behalf of Drew, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill.
I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.